It's a crypto constitution scam. Last week, 17,000 crypto nerds raised $47 million in just a few days for a bid on an early copy of the Constitution. It was revenge of the nerds. They organized using a DAO. DAOs are basically like fraternities where you pay dues to get into the cool crypto club. You can be on our private group chat. You know, we can buy the Constitution and make it non-fungible.
You college guys are all alike.
Every member has a vote, so it's like equity in startups. But in the end, Constitution DAO lost the bid, and people couldn't get their money back, according to Vice News. Vice said they actually put $200 themselves into the bid, and that half of the money was spent on fees just to buy the currency. And get this, to get the refund, they had to pay the same fees again. So they ended up with almost nothing. But the guy who won the auction was Chicago hedge fund billionaire Ken Griffin, the guy who was accused of colluding with Robinhood and pressuring them to stop trading of GameStop.
I want to be perfectly clear. We had no role in Robinhood's decision to limit trading in GameStop or any of the other meme stocks.
But now he has the Constitution. Maybe next time, nerds.
Where are they? I think they're talking about us. No way.
So it appeared like this huge populist revolution to beat out the billionaires in the Sotheby's art auction turned into like the biggest clusterfuck ever. So Brian, I wanted to talk to you about, I know you've been looking into this. Clusterfucks, revolutions, and you've been looking into the DAO. What's your reaction to this DAO bid? This happened, I know, right now, so you haven't really thought about it, but.
I've thought about it. I thought about it while you were talking. No, like, do you know what I actually got reminded of? Like back in 2000, I remember I was like at Columbia and like we had like a Super Bowl party for like all the students. And like there was one like new media professor, Sri Srinivasan. He had a show like on like, public access or something like called Shri's Web Tips, where he told like, you know, grandmoms how to like use the internet. And he insisted, because it was a party, we had beer and we were going to get pizza at halftime. He insisted on ordering the pizza through the Domino's like website. And at the time, ordering a pizza on a website was a very unusual thing to do because you just picked up the phone and you called and you're like, I want a pizza. But Shri insisted that we had to use it. Guess what? The pizza didn't freaking show up, okay? And we were all sitting there. At this point, we had had quite a bit of beer saying, where the hell's the pizza? Why didn't you just pick up the goddamn phone? I was reminded of that with this like Constitution DAO because early on, these things are always a mess. And so, you know, just like ordering a pizza now, we don't even think twice of like ordering a pizza through our apps. Ordering a pizza like online was a very strange thing in 2000. And so this is a very strange thing too. And obviously, much like our pizza from Domino's, it like didn't show up, like the Constitution didn't show up. Because nobody goes into an auction and says, this is my maximum bid, because everyone else then knows what your maximum bid is. So like it was stupid to begin with. But that, I don't think that means that like DAOs themselves will not iron out all of these issues.
Yeah. No, coming in and letting people know what your maximum bid is a rookie move for an auction. That's for sure. But it was pretty impressive that they raised all this money and galvanized 17,000 people so quickly. Like, so I was actually very excited about this concept that this could be something that's could be pretty amazing in creating a movement very quickly, until I realized all these fees and all this stuff that happened where nobody was ready for this. They say it's smart contracts. Oh, everyone knows you don't even need a lawyer, but it sounds like the same thing. Like, it's like people say you don't even need a lawyer because you just click the terms of service. You don't even need a lawyer. You have a DocuSign. That just means you can sign the contract. But these guys apparently didn't even have the one vote policy. They didn't have any of the things that they say DAOs are. They just put it up and made a cool video that got people excited.
But also, I think the funniest thing is like you left out one thing is that in order to then get their money back, they're going to pay more gas fees. So like they're going to have to like extract their money back from this DAO and then like get whacked yet again with fees.
Yeah. Some people, they say, even had to ended up in debt because the gas fees were higher when they were trying to get out.
I think there's a lot of room here for innovation and some people to improve processes. And, even like buying, there's people who bought Bitcoin like 10 years ago when it was like, $3, $5, and like they can't access their wallets because they bought on, now defunct websites, right? But then, even crypto, which is a relatively new phenomenon, you've started to develop, whether it's Coinbase or Binance or Gemini, et cetera, some establishment, some infrastructure has been built around that. And I think you're going to see the same thing in this DAO structure. It is interesting, and I do view it as a positive thing because the internet, until now, you go into a chat room and people say terrible things to each other, and that's the kind of Web 1.0. And here it's like an internet community, but with a bank account, and so you can actually have an impact, right? Like if you look at some of these kind of more ambitious, idealistic DAOs, it's either they want to fund projects by like non-binary artists, and there's another one that focuses on women crypto founders, another one that kind of views themselves more as a venture capital firm and invests in like new tech. And so I do think it's an interesting way for people globally to connect in and put their, I guess, newfound wealth, if they've done well in the crypto market, to connect it all together to good use and democratize certain things. I was talking to somebody recently who was looking at producing new TV shows and movies. And that, even though we do talk about the streaming revolution and Disney Plus and Netflix, et cetera, is still controlled by a handful of companies. If you want your show produced, like, yeah, you don't have to go to the 3 networks anymore, and you might have a couple dozen you can go to, but it's still Apple Plus, Netflix, Hulu, et cetera. And, they want to create a situation where if you have a great idea, you don't have to go to one of those big guys to produce it. You can come to a DAO, and they're like, we'll fund it for you. And just put it out on the internet for the world. So there is an opportunity both on the creative side and for people who are producing things and creating things, and also people who are funding things.
Yeah, I was getting very excited about the DAO concept as I was digging into it, about on the creator side, where you could sort of get together and create a really strong community, which a lot of Brian talks about all the time, being such an important part of building any media company. And also benefit as you become more influential or provide more and more value. You benefit from the rise of the value of the project, and you can also maintain like in this creator economy, you can remain independent, but also benefit from the creation of the collective value. It seems like it could be something that would be revolutionary. But I guess you still have to think about how you would structure it. So you still need a lawyer, you still need your financial advisors to figure out how you would structure all that, I guess.
Yeah, and there's tax implications and all sorts of different things that people can get whacked with. But I think overall, if you look at like the Great Resignation and stuff like this, like there's been this false choice of, like think about all of us, like how our sort of occupations are different now versus they were like a couple years ago. Like it was always like you had to be part of a company and or you were just solo, and like there should be more flexible structures. There's more flexible structures in all sorts of aspects of life. So why shouldn't there be, and it's not there yet, but why shouldn't you be able to like join like a DAO for a certain one thing and another DAO for another thing and sort of have a lot more freedom and flexibility in your life?
It's this like Robin Hood style ability in all aspects of life. I was hearing about a startup out of Miami, actually, Alex, that is allowing people with as little as $500 to invest in real estate. And democratizing that. Like it used to be and still is for the most part that you need 6 figures or more to invest in any sort of real estate thing. And now it's like for as little as $500, you can be a part of this retail space we're building, or this residential space we're building. And so I think if DAOs are just a part of that, it's a recognition of the fact that it's all about bringing opportunity to everybody, no matter how fat their wallet is. But
the with the kind of financial journalist hat on, looking at that, it sort of is like you have REITs, right? You have different ways to benefit from rising real estate prices, but it's like there is kind of a element of, there's a reason why you have regulation around qualified investors, non-qualified investors, right? Because people get swindled, and in the end, this Constitution DAO gets single.
Come on, regulations protect incumbents. That's what they're about. Like, give me a break. You think Jamie Dimon really cares? You really think Jamie Dimon?
No, I'm not saying Jamie Dimon cares.
Somebody in North Beach, like, losing $500 in this. Regulations always. Why do you think Facebook's out there like begging for regulations? Because it's going to cement them. They're like an incumbent. It just adds. And you look at like the financial industry, so many people are shut out of financial products.
Well, this is basically what we're talking about, right? With the big money moving into crypto, with this evolution of crypto, so will come regulation, or so will come some type of adoption that would cement in that big money moving in, right? So it's going to happen in crypto. Maybe it's better to have more people thinking about it in a completely new slate, and thinking about the future of the internet in a completely new slate than trying to think about it within the constructs of the current financial regulation, which is behind its time anyway.
And I mean, it'll be interesting to see how, we've all seen like, the clips of like senators asking questions of Mark Zuckerberg. Like, I cannot wait until they're having like crypto hearings.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and by the way, that just goes to show you how far behind Washington is. They were throwing in some random elements into the infrastructure bill related to crypto that like had nothing to do with infrastructure, but like throwing it in there, taking it out. None of them know what the hell it means. Ted Cruz is like, you should be able to use Bitcoin to buy things out of the candy machine in the basement of the Capitol. Like, that's how they're applying it. And so I think you're probably 5 years from now, we'll be hearing the first hearing on on DAOs on Capitol Hill.
I think what's going to be interesting for crypto is if it can avoid becoming politicized, right? Like, so yes, anytime you're going to have stuff about regulations, it's going to be somewhat political. But like when Ted Cruz starts aligning with you, you might be like, whoa, I don't know about this, because like we're very like obviously divided society, and crypto itself has a lot of libertarian elements to it. And if it becomes like a red versus blue issue, I don't think that's very good for crypto adoption.
Well, it's very interesting because like blue has become establishment, red has become like, regular folks. Crypto seems like this democratized thing. So then you would think like lean right until something happens in crypto that, Republicans go after it like they went after like social media companies where they feel there's some sort of inherent bias or whatever. But I don't know that it can avoid, Brian, and it'll be very interesting to watch those borders go up around, or those lines go up around crypto, because everything else in society is now politicized. Like, there's nothing that's immune.
And I think it's a real risk because the biggest loudmouths in crypto to date are definitely like authoritarian curious, and like they're like they've read too much Ayn Rand like when they were teenagers and never grew up. And I think that is a real problem beyond the complexity of mainstream adoption of crypto, is like a lot of its biggest cheerleaders are like kind of assholes. And like, I don't think that's generally good for like getting like regular people like excited about it.
And to go full circle here, its first real adoption in a country writ large is done effectively by an authoritarian style leader in El Salvador, who's imposed it on his country.
Wow. Yeah, lots to talk about for the Thanksgiving dinner table. Maybe we should create a DAO to just decide which topics we can talk about. One vote, one person. Thanks for tuning in. If you like our videos and want to support the channel, please like and subscribe. You can also subscribe to our Substack newsletter for exclusive updates, and find the audio version wherever you podcast. Thanks for watching.